Okay, so live, and so this might be a bit graphic, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, so a friend sent me a picture today. This is the picture. This is from the PG film. This is the red hole. Also, I was just watching MK Davis. He does a lot of live things on um, Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, send him a friend request. Just MK Davis. He's uh, he's been going live a lot lately about this. Bless his heart. You can tell it really bothers him. So, hello, Lady Pam, Sunfish, Bigfoot Odyssey. Oh, and another thing, the night vision that Carrie and them from Bigfoot Odyssey sent came in today. So I've got to check into that. It does have a video output, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way to hook it up somehow. And another thing that's on my mind, the last time I did this live video, I want people to understand whenever I'm doing a live video, these are my thoughts. I'm trying to interact with the chat. I enjoy interacting with the chat. So if I've got pauses or whatever you said and that it annoys you, don't listen. That's all. Just go away. Just don't listen. Because I'm going to do this how I want to do it. And there might be pauses for me to look up. Like last night, I looked up some information about a feller out of Canada, posted a link to the information, which the information, as I read it, shows absolutely zero proof. I mean, nothing. It's just another guy's opinion, just like this is my opinion. And he provides no proof at all. He also, in the link that I provided, talks about the red hole. This red hole right here. He talks about he talks about this red hole, and he's calling this the creek. This is not the creek. This is a look at this squared off hole that has been dug. This is the shadow and everything. So that whole link, I mean, I can only go by pictures, and for this theory, the massacre theory, I can only go by these pictures and the proofs that other people's, namely in this case, M.K. Davis, he's done a lot of work, but he's not the only one. I know some of you in here was on live feed just now, and you heard him talking about it. But this is the subject right here. This is what was in that red pit, and I mean, just look at it. Now, there's different opinions. I've asked a few people today what they think about this. MK being one of them, and then another guy that everybody on here probably knows. But the guy thought that this was a body, and I think that it is a piece of the body. He was thinking maybe this was the head, and it's in this muddy pit. It's in this muddy, bloody pit, and like I said, I was watching MK live just now, and this, I've got a bit of color blindness, like I can see reds and browns and all that, but there's certain tints to it that I can't see. I don't know if that's why I can't see boogers in the videos other people talk about. I mean, that might be a big part of it too. But anyway, this figure is laying right here in this pit, and it's a pretty good size. And what it is a piece of a booger that's been skinned out, maybe the foot or the hand or something like that. And you can see other pieces over here that's in the shadow. It's harder to tell what that is. I would love to get the good frame and be able to look at it better. But there's other chunks of something in here. And the way that he was describing it was the horses drug the bodies over here. There's all kinds of blood and drag marks, bloody drag marks. I thought I had a picture of the. I have to get one of them, but at one point, these people, the dog was sniffing one. I thought I had a picture, but I don't see it on here now. And these are just screen grabs that I've got. These over here. I need to go back and get that, but there's more to it. So I don't know. That's what what is this exactly? This, and again, this isn't the best picture. This isn't the best quality. I would love to have that frame, the best quality. But this part right here would be this part right here. So, you know, I don't know this to move something that size, and I guess her weight was estimated. I'm guessing about 800 pounds, something like that. Something else that that could be been bigger or whatever. And it's a heck of a thing. I mean, if that is a Bigfoot body that's been skinned out, possibly butchered up and placed in a hole, and even a family, that's pure evil. No matter how you look at it, it's pure evil. I don't know. Like I know a lady was watching the live stream, and basically the story. It's all this was done because they was having problems. The logging company was having problems. They had caught these men down there. Patterson had been searching for Bigfoot for years, right? He was a researcher. So they got word that the Bluff Creek was a hot spot. People had been down in there tracking them and hunting these creatures down. They had went down there, and John Green and Renee DeHenden, that company went down there. And I mean, if you look at some of the enhancements, he's got Green Wave 2010 FB. Go on there and look. Years ago, the MK put all this out years ago, and he was kind of ostracized by the community, by the what I'm thinking is the gatekeepers. This is the golden calf for Bigfoot. This video is, but the story that they tell behind the video, and the video is real. That's a real booger, but the story behind it is it's awful hokey sounding, and that's just not normal behavior for a Bigfoot. Oh, that sucks. Man. It sucks to lose a pet. But anyway, I would, if you're on Facebook, I would encourage you to send MK a Facebook friend request. Go in there and listen to the man whenever he's talking about it. And it's hard on him. That's another thing. Why would he just come out with a story like this? He's got loads and loads of evidence that backs up this theory. Pictures, all right, visual evidence. He's got recordings from people that were around that time. He even talked about I can't remember the towns, Orleans. He said in tonight's video, Orleans, everybody knew about this and what the real story was behind it, and it leaks out. So, no, I mean, I'm just saying, check into it. It's a it's a deep rabbit hole. I mean, I was saying last night, it kind of involves the Minnesota Iceman, possibly. The Minnesota Iceman might have been a casualty of the Bluff Creek massacre, and the guy that was parading it around or whatever in the carnivals or whatever. He was hooked up to another guy from his hometown. That's how they got it out and about and all this. I think the other guy was like a one of the guys at Bluff Creek was hooked up with a guy that was did the carnival circuits and they used to show tractors and stuff. Then they come up with the Iceman deal. Then they had the carnivals up in Canada and was trying to cross the border with the Iceman, and the border agents stopped him because they smelled a corpse. They smelled rotting flesh coming out of the exhibit. So they stopped him and was calling the FBI. And one of them knew Walter Mondale, which was he ran for president and got him out of the mess. So, I mean, that's a lot of pull right there just to be able to call a presidential candidate to get the FBI off your butt for having a dead body. I mean, that's pretty serious stuff. So, I don't know. The pictures itself, I mean, I was kind of wondering. Like I said, if you look at it, it could look like a face here, even maybe bullet holes or belly button, but it's the foot is what Impa's saying. And look at the tone of this. I mean, it's skinned out. That's a pinkish tone. The hide's been, like you would skin a deer. It's showing the muscle and the tendons and the fibers and all that up underneath of it. And just the whole act itself is disgusting. And after all this happened, Bob Gimlin didn't want no part to do with the film. But before it happened, he was talking about it being hunting season and anything hairy out there is uh, likely to be shot. And then, after all this happened, he didn't want nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with the film. The biggest scientific breakthrough, and it's all covered up. They said the Minnesota Iceman was put out there to gauge the public's reaction. And I thought I had a picture of him too, but I'm not seeing it on here. I need to put all these like I guess in an album. I need to get a bit more organized. But there he is. Oh, here's the one with the other bodies. I mean, this is supposedly the skin. This is another skin. Altogether there was 5 of these boogers uh, supposedly killed here. These men came down, flew back to Canada, flew back the next day. Within 24 hours, flew back because they were told what they was looking for was down here. So they flew back. And this video here, which I think was shot after the PG film, because whenever they arrived down there, Roger and Gimlin was already down there. They had already took that other film, and this film was taken afterwards, within a day of it. It's just disgusting. The whole thing is what would cause man to do that. Now these are artists renditions or whatever they're called. But this one right here is the original. Later they, after getting caught with the smelly corpse and all that, it's just disgusting. After getting caught with the smelly corpse, they put a costume in there later on. But I think that this is the original. This is one of the ones from Bluff Creek. This ring on it is where someone set down a coffee cup, cracked the ice, and a terrible stench came out of it. Crazy. But anyway, like I said, check out MK's older videos on it. It's it's all in there, and I would like to see a timeline deal done on it because I've got a lot of questions, and I had here's the good thing. If you go in there and you're asking questions about it, MK's done his work. If you're asking questions about it, a day or so, he's likely to answer because it was just tonight. I was asking about the thing in the red hole, and then he gets on Facebook and answers the questions. I asked him about the timeline, and he's giving me more clarity on it. He don't have the whole story down, and like I said, it's hard on him to talk about it. But a lot of what he talks about comes from the wife of one of those that was involved in it. So there's that. Why she would lie about it, I don't know. Millie, that's one of my biggest questions too. Okay, because supposedly I think there's 5 or 6 men that was supposed to be involved, and I think there's actually more than that. I honestly do. And but these Bigfoot they were doing a lot of logging there. The Bigfoot wasn't happy about it, and I think they went around and this to this day, people still looking for boogers in Bluff Creek. To this day, they're coming back to that same area, breaking down breaking trees, and people's got cameras and stuff put up there on the exact spot where the bodies are supposed to be buried right now. The Bluff Creek project. Look it up. Um, but yeah, how do you? I mean, how did they film Patty? Why did she act like she did? I mean, there's something there. So I've heard other stories like in the Smoky Mountains down around Gatlinburg, the boogers was going wild around some campground. They sent a bunch of men into the woods to drive them off. You look at the story from LBL, the family that got slaughtered there. They sent in a bunch of men to drive it off. So I think they used a lot of men to get in there and wipe out these Bigfoot, or some professional men. Renee Dehuman was a government man. Now these other guys, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know all the answers. I just don't have them. I'm looking into it. I'm trying to share with what I think. And, a few things that I found out. There's a lot to this. Hello, Richard. But anyway, I guess that's about all I've got for tonight. Again, thanks to Carrie and them for the night vision. I haven't got a chance to fool with them yet. I might go out there right now and mess with them. Like I said, it's got a video output, so I'd have to hook it up to a monitor or something. And what I'm thinking, the simplest way to do it would be to hook these up, point them out in the yard, hook it up to a monitor, and film the monitor. I might be able to do something like that. But I also want to record whenever I'm doing it, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do all that. And I'm like the least uh, technology enabled feller on the farm. However, I think I figured out harder stuff than this. So we'll give it a go, see what we can come up with. Yeah, really, it does stink. And, you know, their story, what gets me most of all, and I know I've said this, but I'm going to say it again, is the shadows is what gets me the most. The story don't match up. These shadows are not from October the 20th. This is MK in Bluff Creek in the summertime, close to the summer solstice, within a week or so of it. And look how short his shadow is. Now look how short Patty's shadow is. This don't happen in the fall. In the fall, the sun's in the, in the south. It's further south, so you get longer shadows. And I mean, you can take a flashlight and stick something on a table, shine it directly overhead, and it's going to have a short shadow. The further left you go of it, it's going to have a longer shadow. I mean, that's just how it works. Or, a light or anything, any light source. The further away you get from it, the longer the shadow is going to be. So the shadows are short there, are also short here. I mean, if this was in the fall, you can have long shadows any time of the year. In the summer, in the evenings, the shadows will be longer. But these are short shadows. Short shadows. So this was all took around about the same time. So if someone explained that to me, how on October the 20th you get such short shadows. Explain that one to me. And so far, nobody has been able to explain that. Yeah, it's all coming out. Like he said today, and I found it highly interesting that a whole town, which it's not a very big town or anything, and in these little towns, and I'm from one, something happens, especially something like that, word gets around. How that ain't spread, and I'm sure a lot of stuff went into covering this. Heck, that one guy went around and threatened 20 people with the weight of a government behind it. It might have been the Canadian government, but they're still a government. They are run by the Queen and the royal elite family. Just so happen to be related to Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, and the elite that run this world are evil, evil people. They worship a different god than I do. That's why the world's in the condition. Or the leaders of this world are not very nice people. They like to lie and hide stuff from us. And this is just one thing. There's many things that they lie about. It's sick, it disgusts me. It disgusts me that I can't turn on the mainstream news and listen to it and believe anything that they tell me. I mean, that's sad. It's sad. I mean, I just want to know the truth about things. I mean, we're all adults, you know. You may not like the truth, but I think you're entitled to it. I don't know how anybody can live in 1 degrees. I don't either. Man, we got that cold snap here, and it was, which I wish it'd stay like that for a month. I'll have to go get more firewood. I'm down to my last roll. Anyways, all right, guys. I guess that's it for now. Like I said, I'm gonna go out and try these night visions and see what's up with it. Yep, I'll agree with that. Yeah, I mean, the one guy, the Renee Dahinden guy, was just a bad character. He threatened all kinds of people. Like I said, that if anybody's got any proof of the cowboy story, please share it with me. The guy came on here last night, and like I said, I'm open to anything. I want to know the truth, and I'll go and I'll look into it, which I did go look into that. But the guy was saying that, oh, that's it could be blood in the water. He was calling the ditch line the creek, and that was a ditch line where the creek, the water where it's below water level seeped into it. Sure, and I mean, if you look on the side of the pit, you can actually see where it splashed up, like things was thrown or drug into it and splashed up the water on the sides. I mean, look at the splash coming up. Something something big and heavy fell down in there. Look where it splashed up here and washed back down. And that's not the creek. That's not the creek. That's not any part of the creek. The creek was further away from that. That was up on the banks, up on the sandbar. And supposedly they tried to bury him there. They had to dig him back up because the creek was washing it out, and they had to put him up on the bank. And to my knowledge, and what I'm understanding, those bodies are still there. At least, the bones or whatever the remains are probably still there. And supposedly there's cameras up on the spot where they're supposedly buried at. So I don't know. If this was closer to me, I would definitely be up there poking around with a shovel. Have a few of my mountain yard friends as hillbillies go up there and post a couple men here and there and go to work with a shovel and see what's underneath the ground. So, anyway, y'all have a good night. Like I said, check out MK Davis on Facebook. He is on Facebook. Send him a friend request. Go on there and listen to the man. He's shedding light on it. And light's a good thing. Truth's a good thing. Y'all have a good night, and God bless.